He scored 2 goals from left back for England under-21s in Denmark on Tuesday. He's on the left side of midfield today, but he can also play centre-back or in attack. A useful man to have around when you're without Galvin, Hoddle, Roberts, Lacey and Steve Archibald, whose place is taken by Mark Falco, scorer of 2 goals against Forest here a year ago. Forest are also way below strength. They have Colin Todd, John Robertson and Ian Bowyer all suspended. Stuart Gray comes in at number 6, and 2 teenagers keep their places, 18-year-old Chris Fairclough at number 4, 19-year-old Steve Hodge at number 8. Substitute is Peter Ward, back from playing in Seattle, but hard-pressed to win a place because of the return to Forest of Gary Birtles, who scored last week against Watford, and it's 4 years this month since Birtles scored his first senior goal when he beat Ray Clements in a European Cup tie between Forest and Liverpool. And while we're on the subject of anniversaries, Brian Clough's first match in charge of Forest was here at Tottenham, in an FA Cup tie in January 1975 when Forest won 1-0. Forest in red shirts and white shorts on the ground, which has not been very lucky for them in recent seasons. They've lost their last 3 league games here and also a League Cup tie last season. And in those 4 matches, Forest have failed to score. Here's Gray. Ricky Villa had a good match last week at Sunderland for Tottenham and has been shining in training, I'm told. Nick Hazard, wearing number 8. Houghton. And here's Crooks, handling the ball. Garth Crooks made his debut for Spurs against Forest in August 1980 and scored. This afternoon's referee, Tony Glasson. Allison. Mark Proctor on the right-hand side there for Forest. Hazard. Right is Gary Brook, who scored the only goal at Sunderland last week. Nick Hazard and Gary Brook, 2 young players pressing for places in the Tottenham midfield and keen to make an impression while the likes of Hoddle are out injured. The tackle was by Gary Brook. Forest with their first attack. Proctor to Hodge. Proctor. And that came off Houghton for the corner, for which doubtless the former Spurs player Willie Young will go forward, but it's been taken short anyway. Here's Proctor. And the cross is good, and Young came in behind Gray. And the referee decided a Tottenham head touched that last. Again, it's played short, this time to Bryn Gunn. Oh, and it came to Wallace. The shot was blocked by Paul Miller, back in by Gray and out by Perryman. From Hodge and Gary Birtles, foiled by Ray Clements. It was on Birtles' better side, the left foot. Good ball through to him by Hodge, and Clements very quick to shut him down. First clear chance of the match, and it fell to Forest. Hazard. Taken out by Gray, and now Walsh. Forest playing on the break, but dangerously so. Already we've seen. Here's Gray. Perryman to Brook, and Tottenham can break now. He's got Crooks through the inside left position, and on this side he's got Falco. Crooks back again to Falco, and Van Breukelen off his line, and a goal kick. Mark Falco put in space, although it was the kind of angle a goalkeeper often shuts down very successfully, and although Falco beat him, the shot was just wide of the far post. Here's Walsh. Falco to Crooks. And away from Gray. Houghton coming up. And Crooks. They closed him down well. And he found Hazard. And he looked for Falco, whose stretching left leg couldn't quite make contact with the ball. That was a nice piece of play by Mick Hazard. Keith Birkinshaw pleased that he's got such a strong squad nowadays. Houghton making half the length of the pitch there. Ilya. There's Brook. Here comes Hazard, and there's Falco, and Van Breukelen again quickly out. Good ball by Hazard. Second time that he's played an imaginative ball through. The second time Falco has been in against the goalkeeper, but again the big frame of the Dutchman shutting down the space. And Young possibly in each other's way there. Couldn't reach it, and here's Anderson, and now Wallace turned on for Hodge. Walsh. Wallace. Falco with the header on.
Harry, get in the way, boy! Get it!
From Price, not completely cut out by Birtles, allowing Perryman to service the front men, but Falco went down, and here's Willie Young for Forest. Tottenham crowd giving him some good-natured backing there. Here's Walsh. And Birtles, and the block was by Miller. Attack initiated by Willie Young, who was a player here for 18 months and who will now stay forward for the corner right on the goal line. Spurs fans knowing all about him. Walsh. Oh, and Young got a header on that, and Clements didn't seem too sure, and Birtles underside of the bar, and Willie Young again. Goal kick. Well, initially Young caused the problems. His header, Clements fumbling a bit at the far post under challenge. Back to Birtles, the shot crashing against the bar. Young's header went out, and in the end of it all, the referee had a word with Proctor. All very untidy from the Tottenham point of view. 7 corners Spurs have forced, but yet to make one count. This is Price. And Falco's flick on, and Mabbutt! How well taken that was. And Gary Mabbutt, after half an hour, keeps up quite a sequence here at White Hart Lane. This is his 3rd league match for Spurs on his new home ground, and he's scored in every one. Falco with the flick, and Mabbutt seeing the chance and taking it all in one movement. He scored here against Luton and against Manchester City. He missed the game against Southampton, and now he scores against Nottingham Forest. But here's Hodge for Forest. Good run, and Birtles is coming in and goes down under challenge from 2 defenders. Only a goal kick given, although both Birtles and the referee look to the linesman for, in the referee's case, advice, and in Birtles' case, in protest. Well, we talked at the start about the versatility of Gary Mabbutt. And he's proved his worth here as a goal scorer. Young took a tumble. Very sharp indeed there, Gary Mabbutt, to see the opportunity. There's Falco. Nice turn against Young. And no mean effort either on the turn. This is Falco's first appearance in the Tottenham team since he came on as a sub in the Charity Shield. But he had a good run, you'll recall, at the start of last season when he scored 6 in 9 games before getting injured. Here's Villa. Crosses through against the goalkeeper and makes it count. Beautifully made by Ricky Villa and perfectly accepted by Garth Crooks. The fans will recall his first goal for Spurs here against Forest when he waltzed round Peter Shilton. Well, there he didn't need to waltz round the goalkeeper, he just slipped the ball past him to put Spurs 2 up here, 2 in 2 minutes. Arriving. Quite a first half this. Spurs riding now on the crest of a 2-goal lead. But I'm sure that Crooks, who combined so well there for that goal with Villa, would acknowledge that at the other end Forest have had 2 perfectly acceptable chances themselves. Was off the head of Young. Oh, Fairclough in a beleaguered defence. And bear in mind, Forest have let in 4 goals at Liverpool, 4 at Aston Villa in their last 2 away games, and they're 2 down here. Tottenham providing some choice football now. So again, Brian Clough sees his defence leaking goals away from home. Hazard. This Spurs midfield, despite the absence of Glenn Hoddle, is moving sweetly in the first half. Hazard particularly making an impression. Look at that pass from him, out to Perryman. Here's Gary Brooke. Tackle was by Walsh, but it's still Brooke. Perryman. Really young. Only finding Hazard. Here's Houghton. Wallace with Viv Anderson going down the right. Hazard tracking him back. Birtles is on this side of the penalty area. Still Anderson, away by Miller. And Price, in the end, turning very succinctly. If Miller hadn't got a foot to that cross, Birtles would surely have scored. As it is, Viv Anderson was out of position and Spurs attack down his flank. Falco to Brooke. Deflection against the post. Abbott. The shot by Gary Brooke off the Forest defender, looping past the goalkeeper against the post, and the rebound was a present for Gary Abbott. So for him, 2 in an England shirt in midweek, 2 in a Tottenham shirt today. And with 6 minutes to go to half-time, Spurs lead 3-0. So in 2.5 matches away from home, Forest have now let in 11 goals. The funny thing is, it could have been 2-1 just a matter of seconds earlier. Instead, it's 3-0. Is still concerned about the injured Forest player there. Stuart Gray, who I think's got a pull at the back of the thigh. So with Gray off the pitch, Forest resume, and here's Willie Young. And Wallace on to Birtles. Oh yes, that's well taken. And Forest get a goal back while they only had 10 men on the pitch. Gray was hobbling away behind the goal when Wallace found Gary Birtles, and he scores to make it 3-1. 41 minutes gone, and Forest will presumably want to make their substitution, and it'll be the return to the Football League for Peter Ward, voted the most valuable player in the North American Soccer League this summer. Played last week in the Soccer Bowl final for Seattle against New York Cosmos, and now he's back in league action with Forest for the first time since last March.
Come on the top, Colin! Get over, Colin!
Here's Chris Houghton. Well, 2 teams below strength today, and I think the entertaining first half here indicates that Tottenham have possibly got a stronger squad than Forest. Gary Abbott scored 2 goals. Garth Crooks scored 1. Forest got 1 back through Gary Birtles, but Tottenham calling the tune in the absence of several established star players. 3-1 at half-time. Well, there have been some high-scoring matches between Spurs and Forest here down the years. 20 years ago it was 9-2 to Tottenham. There was a 6-1 in the early 70s. And it's 3-1 so far today. But Forest certainly had their chances in the first half. Birtles scoring their first goal on this ground in 5 visits. So it's still an open game here. Proctor. And Birtles getting the better of Miller, and the referee has blown. He's stopped the game to give a free kick to Nottingham Forest when Gary Birtles would surely rather have, Brian Clough may agree, would surely rather have gone on with application of the advantage. Proctor takes, header was by Price, then by Anderson, a slice by Houghton, and a corner. Short here for Ward. And that's a good ball by Hazard for Ricky Villa. He's won it back from Anderson. Oh no, he hasn't. The referee's blown. That save wouldn't have mattered. And the big Argentine gets a generous round of applause. Still a very popular player here. And again. And here's Ward. To his right, Anderson. 4 waiting for Forest in the centre here. Hodge. And this is Ward. And this is Proctor with a chance. And he fires wide. And finishing not perhaps Mark Proctor's strongest point since he joined Forest. He's been there just over a season now and has so far scored only 1 goal. Hazard did take a knock earlier in this half, and he's going off to be replaced by Ian Crook. So we now have something of a nightmare for commentators. We have a Crook and a Crooks in the Tottenham team. And the lad who's just come on is essentially a midfield player. So it's a straight swap for Hazard. Ward. Actually, Ian Crook, not a newcomer to Tottenham supporters. He has had 4 league appearances in the past. Comes from Romford in Essex, and he's taken up a left-sided position for the moment. Nice headed back by Steve Perryman to Gary Brook, who was on his way here. And turned out by Anderson. A fine run and cross by Gary Brook, all the way down. Not the best of angles to pull it back. Falco just missed it. Corner to Spurs. It's a cross this time by Crook. And here's Brook. He's reason to be pleased with his performance today. Gary Brook. Perryman. Crooks. Fairclough's tackle. Miller. And now Ian Crook. Coming up Anderson. Oh, and Crooks is in here. What a good finish. To a very satisfying afternoon for Tottenham. A dreadful mistake by Willie Young against his old club. But just the player to take advantage. Crooks just going on to drift wide of Van Breukelen and push the ball into the net, and 30,000 people inside White Hart Lane to see Spurs go 4-1 up with just 2 minutes left. Now Brian Clough's team have conceded in each of their last 3 away matches. No doubt where his problems lie. Oh, and a mistake there by Paul Price, which Ray Clements came to atone for and was angry with the challenge of Peter Ward. And this is Brook. Good effort. Burned the goalkeeper's fingers. Did Gary Brook. Really Young being cheered. Looking for Gary Birtles and finding him. Walsh. And a good turn by Peter Ward and pull back away by Price. And again, so White Hart Lane, an unlucky ground for Nottingham Forest. Brian Clough's season will not take shape until he gets his suspended and injured players back, that's for sure. But Tottenham have got a big squad. And Gary Mabbott with 2 goals. And Garth Crooks, likewise, bringing their name to the attention again of the England manager, as he looks for young players who could play a part in the future. Good finishing by Spurs. Gary Birtles got the only goal for Nottingham Forest. And a final score here of Tottenham 4, Nottingham Forest 1.